until requested by the chair or members of the committee. All cameras for committee members shall remain on to ensure quorum. Members of the committee shall indicate they wish to speak by physically raising their hand. Members who are present in person will be given an opportunity to speak first, followed by virtual participants. All members of the committee will vote by a physical show of hands. Please leave your hands raised until the chair has determined the result of the vote. In the event a connection service interruption occurs that affects quorum, we may recess the meeting for up to 15 minutes to regain quorum. If quorum is not achieved, the meeting will be adjourned. All rules for delegations under the city's procedural bylaw continue to apply. All right, that's the intro. Any declarations of conflicts of interest? If you have a conflict with anything that's on the agenda today, just please raise your hand. We have no presentations or delegations in open session. And there are 3 items for consideration on today's agenda. The Brantford Police Services redevelopment project. I'll ask staff to come forward to provide an overview of this item. And we'll need a mover and seconder to put this motion on the floor. So which comes first, the overview or the moving and seconder?
We can get a mover and seconder to put it on the floor, and then we'll get the
overview. All right, let's have a mover. Raise your hands. Don't be shy. Madison. And the seconder.
Sorry.
Oh, I can't see the screen too small. Sarah.
Is a presentation, so we'll bring that up now. This one? Okay, perfect. Can everyone see our screen at home?
Yes, we can.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yep, all good. Every time you press, or just say next slide when you need us to go to the next slide.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for letting me do a bit of an update on the Brantford Police Services redevelopment. Next slide. A bit of a background on this project. The Brantford Police Services headquarters building is located 344 Elgin Street. The current building was constructed in 1990, expanded in 2006. The building is currently undersized and operating in cramped and unsuitable conditions, and building components and systems, especially mechanical systems, have reached the end of life for those systems. The redevelopment of this building was approved in 2021, and the redevelopment will include expanding the facility to meet the current and future growth needs, looking at a 20-year planning horizon for the police service. For this project, additional land was required to accommodate this expansion, and a parcel of land was acquired from the adjacent Enbridge gas property. The redevelopment of this facility will incorporate net zero carbon design elements, including energy saving compliance in the roof and the building envelope, as well as energy efficient systems, and looking at installation of solar panel arrays on the system. Looking at the accessibility, in the light of accessibility, the proposed site plan has 255 overall parking spaces. 10 of those spaces will be area-free parking spaces located near the main entrance for the public and the public parking areas, as well as a couple of area-free spots behind the building for staff. The change or locker rooms and washrooms have been redesigned. There will be new male and female locker rooms which will be complete with barrier-free stalls and private showers. There will be a separate gender-inclusive locker room area, complete with a barrier-free stall and a private shower. The renovated, there's a lot of renovations within this building, so the renovated portion of the washrooms will include barrier-free stalls as well. And the public washrooms will be universal washrooms, complete with an adult change table. I'm sorry, my voice is going.
That's okay.
Just a bit of a summary on this project. Anticipated construction start date is December of this year. As far as accessibility compliance, all areas of the building are being redesigned to accommodate or to be, complying with accessibility requirements, including the City of Brantford's accessibility design standards, which are known as PADS, the AODA standards, and Ontario Building Code standards. Not only parking stalls and washrooms, but ways and doorways, and all will be redesigned and redeveloped to meet these standards. And this construction and completion of this project is anticipated in March of 2020.
Yeah, any questions? Zoom participants? If you have a question, just raise your hand. Don't have any, that's fine. Vote in this room.
I'm just thinking hard.
Okay.
Yeah, about to make any differences to the building code. How would we go about that? Like they're all using doors. Would there be an option of a pocket door or another type of door that would be less interfering with the space that you are in?
A lot of the doors are being designed during travel that require openers. They will have openers to open up the doors. As far as pocket doors, they're not a typical standard that's used or a requirement under the code.
Yeah, the thing is, like I just came back from Europe. I'm from the Netherlands, and we have lots of stuff like that. So that just opens my eye to a different scenario. That what can we do to sort of make it, the best we can have, That's because they're really doing good there, So yeah, and what would be the width of a door to an accessible bathroom?
I don't know.
This is something.
The number offhand. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but
sorry.
I can interject if you would like, Gord. I do know that number off the top of my head. It is 37 3/8.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, that's good.
Hi, Jenny. I didn't even know you were there. I didn't even know you were there.
Sorry, but
Sorry about that.
No, that's a good answer, and that's totally fantastic. Okay, yeah, that's all little details, but a centimeter or an inch makes a difference in lots of times, So okay, I like that. Yeah.
Well, I have a question, and it's going to show my ignorance. I don't even know what a pocket door is.
You build it, the 2x4s, normally you have the structure like 2x4s like that. You build it like that, the 2x4s, and then the door goes in between.
Oh,
so you have a double wall.
Gotcha.
You have a double wall.
Totally understand that.
I designed my own barrier-free for Everhome. So yeah, and I built lots of stuff too. So that sort of gives me a little more, knowledge. Thank you.
So I don't know if those aren't bad for orders or not to get my code, but I do find that very interesting.
Yeah, the thing is, for your own space, sometimes you have, like, I've got a laundry room and a bathroom adjoining, and if there was a door there, you couldn't move. Okay, so it gives you options. Yeah.
Any further questions? You certainly can. Okay, we make you go last. No worries, just a citizen observer.
We talk about the accessible parking spots, but are they going to include The color changed to make it obvious for tactile differences, for change of elevation, or where there's accessible parking spots. It's like I think it's yellow or something like that, to show the change of elevation for sure. Because my girlfriend's low vision, for example, so.
Yeah, should be maybe changing color, basically, but where an obstacle is, you need to really have something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
The consultants do have the FAD standards. Anything that's identified in there, they are putting into their design, and any suggestions you make today, I will take back to them and talk to them about it.
The real odd color, maybe like a purple or something, like, or something that is doable though. That's withstand the environment that is not washing out in 3 months' time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And definitely there's tactile
can I
differences.
butt in for a sec?
Yep.
I've been working with the MP office, that was Dave Levesque, on the wheelchair parking. That any white spots could only be used by those entering and exiting their vehicle with an aid, some kind of something that they can park and be mobile somehow. And then we had suggested that there would be closed spots, which would also be closed spots, but normal size spots for those with invisible disabilities, and that need to have permits. And we went forward with that a few years ago. The OPP lobbied on it and everything else, and then the Balance MP took over and went to Service Ontario. All the calculations were done, all the ministries agreed. They went to Service Ontario, and then they said to me, it is a monetary issue. So I went back to the MP in place now, and nothing has been touched. So
the question would be, what the number of spaces do you have? Is there any sort of level of accommodation?
Yeah, because like you got the wheelchair spots are, like at many places, way more than necessary. So then it would be in favor of those that have invisible disabilities to park closer.
Yeah, we can definitely look at that. We could mark them with some miniature or something to identify those spots.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So there's a number of questions that come forward, ideas in that. How do you you're saying you're going to take down in your notes? How do we find out maybe, in other words, hey, we thought this, we can't make it work, or take that further?
One step at a time.
We do I won't back to this.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Yeah. Any further questions? Oh, I think Jenny's got her hand up. Is that meant to be, Jenny?
It is. I just wanted to confirm that we do, in the city of Brantford, as mandated by the design of public spaces, we do have type A and type B stalls. The type A stalls are for the people who do require the wider stall with the access aisle, and the type B is the smaller stall for people with limited mobility. And those are split evenly among our parkings, our new facilities or retrofitted parking lots. So we are hearing the people, and we are doing our best to meet those accommodations. I know that the opportunity for public review just closed for the built environment. So hopefully the more input that was received, the more we will see in the upcoming amendments to the standards as well.
Thank you, Jenny. Any further questions? Mayor Davis.
Thank you. So the police services code have. So how do you deal with someone who's in Brantford that has serious in the holding cell area.
It's a good question, and I apologize for not showing the holding cell. I was asked not to show that area as part of this presentation, but they are gonna provide a barrier-free holding cell within the renovated cell block area.
It is, and we don't get to see it. Any further questions? Seeing none, we've heard the report. We now get to vote on it. So if you're in favor of what you've heard and like what you've heard, raise your hand for yes. I'll raise. And that's taken. And anyone opposed? I see none, so it must be a unanimous.
Smile again.
All right, thank you very much. I guess I'll ask staff to come forward with an overview of the Shellard Lane Joint Build Project update. And we need a mover and a seconder for this. So who is willing to move the agenda forward? Just raise your hand and give me a minute because I can't see you.
Sorry.
Okay, moved by Madison again, seconded by. Ours aren't very good. I can't see anyone. I need another hand. There we go. I got Sarah again. Apparently my new glasses aren't good enough, so I can't see them.
Madison and Sarah.
All right, carry on.
Okay. Once again, I'll do a brief presentation on the Shellard Lane Field project. Go to the next slide. Background on this project. This build is phase 3 of the larger Southwest Community Center and Park project. The property is 7.2 acres, located at the corner of Shellard Lane and the new Strickland Avenue. This is going to be a tri-party development between the Grand Dairy District School Board and the City of Brantford. And the facility will include a elementary school, a public library branch, a community recreation center, and a daycare center. The Grand Dairy District School Board is the lead on this project, with the library and the city as major stakeholders. And on the city side, the community recreation center will include 2 competition-sized gyms, multi-purpose room complete with a teaching kitchen, space, office, and meeting room space. And the facility is being designed to be net zero ready for future connection to potentially solar panels on the roof and the geothermal system, which would provide energy efficiency to the building. So what you see here is the proposed site plan on the site. It's one large facility that, as I said, elementary school, a library, and a recreation center, along with the child care center. The site also, just for reference, is highly sloped. So the corner there of Shellard and Strickland Avenue is the high point of the site, and then it drops down 2 meters to the end of the site. So the parking lots on the Strickland Avenue side are higher than the parking lots on the Shellard Lane and then the lane that will drive up to the area. Overall, there's 136 parking spaces on this site, and 6 of those will be barrier-free parking spots. So there'll be 2 in each of the different parking lots. Actually, so 2 in the bottom and then 4 in the top. And they're both located near the entrance. There's an entrance to the school and the library, and an entrance for the rec center and the child care below. Next slide, please. So for the rec center, the change and locker rooms for the gymnasium, it has been decided for this project to go with a completely gender inclusive design. So the locker rooms will each have private change rooms and private showers. There's no identified male or female side. Private washrooms will be complete with a water closet and sink within them. There will be a universal washroom complete with a barrier-free shower. There is an officials change room or referees change room that has their own washroom and shower within that facility.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? Or is it too soon? It's okay.
I'm okay with it.
If you, yeah, he's fine. Go ahead.
Are all rooms accessible doors? Just the size you told me before?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, that would make a difference for a lot of people, yeah. Less expensive in the long run, yeah, great. Yeah.
And one thing just to point out, because there are several levels to this facility, there is an elevator between as well.
Everything is doable, that's the whole thing,
Okay.
Sorry.
Public washrooms for the recreation center. Again, we're going with gender inclusive washrooms, complete with private stalls and a central wash top. There will be a barrier-free stall complete with a water closet inside, as well as a universal washroom complete with an adult change. In the public library, they are doing the same thing, gender inclusive washrooms complete with stalls, as well as an additional universal washroom complete with an adult change. Summary of this project, construction is anticipated to start in December of this year. Everything has been designed to the various standards, FADS, AODA, and OBC, and anticipated construction completion date of this project. The overall construction is January 2026. So the school portion of this bill is to be completed by September of 2020. Again, that's
beautiful.
An image of what the facility may look like.
Really nice.
Are there any questions? Zoom participants, I see no hands. Go ahead, Mark.
Has there been talks of putting up a retaining wall and then building the land up so that it's all
It was considered, early design concepts, but there's also going to be a park and fields built to the north of this property. So we wanted to integrate the two sites together and have a kind of a cohesive campus look. So if we raise this one too high, then the park would be a lot lower. So we try to work with the two different sites, keeping that in mind. So, and this building was designed to conform to the site.
Any more questions? Nothing under Madison, we'll move on. Madison.
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm just wondering if since I see that there's like a basketball court, if the external property would be of use to neighborhood associations.
You're talking about the outside of the building?
Yes, like how East Wardecker Place Neighborhood Association that I help with sets up ice rinks, and we generally just get to use basketball courts to turn into ice rinks.
Let's see. Okay. Well, with this particular project, most of the play area is dedicated to the school for their exclusive use. But to the north, the city is, as I said, developing an activity hub area that will include basketball courts, pickleball courts, playground area, a splash pad, and then some athletic fields, which include a soccer pitch and a cricket pitch. So there will be lots of opportunity to use those areas for community use.
Maybe I can just jump in and help out a little bit. So we'll talk about these. There's 3 phases of this project, and somehow this project, the phases have been flipped. So phase 3 is the school that Gord is speaking about, and it's going to have school property, where the basketball courts you refer to. So it probably won't be for ice rinks and things like that. So in fact, it won't be. But phase 2 will be a big soccer field and a cricket patch. And phase 1 is being redesigned. We have a big meeting about that tomorrow morning to look at. So there's going to be 4 baseball fields, but we're changing that plan and looking at putting in a splash. Ms. Gord just said splash pads, basketball, those sorts of things. We're just in the process of redesigning phase 1. So your requests, that will be all available to neighborhood associations once we redesign phase 1.
Answer. Councilor Hunt.
Hutchins may have answered my question. So the accessibility features of the park design will come back to this committee at a later date.
We're meeting about phase 2 and phase 1 as staff tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Answered my question. So we will see the accessibility features of the park.
Phase 3 in the building, and you'll see the other 2 after.
Perfect.
Thank you. Any further questions? Seeing none, let's call the vote on what we've heard. All those in favor, raise your hands. And it looks like it's going to be unanimous. Opposed? I don't see it. Okay. Accessibility Awards campaign. Financial impact is $6,000, and I will ask staff to come forward and provide an overview of this item. Let's do that.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm appearing virtually. It's Maria Vasaki, Director of Communications, Community Engagement, and Customer Service. Thank you for the opportunity to attend the meeting this afternoon and share some preliminary plans we have to relaunch the Accessibility Awards program. Those members of the committee that have served on the committee for a few years will be familiar with the program, while new members may have heard about it, hopefully heard about it through the city's promotional efforts. We did run the program prior to COVID for, I believe it was 3 years. Jenny will correct me if I'm wrong. We've experienced a bit of a lull. We did not run the program during COVID, and we did try to get it back up and running, I believe, in 22, but we didn't have an opportunity to meet as a committee to discuss it. So we thought for the 2024 program that we would start the discussion earlier. And be able to get any additional direction that Bach would want to see us propose to council to potentially enhance some of the activities that we've executed before around this program. So basically what it consists of is we have a established criteria where we judge candidates that are nominated. They can nominate themselves, or they can be nominated by another organization or individual. And we have an approved way of vetting the application forms that are received. Jenny and I look at them initially, and then we bring them back to the committee, to Bach, and we provide a recommendation as to which ones we believe should be receiving the award. The awards are presented publicly as awards of recognition at a city council meeting, and we time the awards to be presented with when the National Accessibility Awareness Week is, which is usually the last week of May. I think it's the first Sunday in June or the last Sunday in May is when that normally begins. And after the awards are presented, we also put out press about each of the organizations that have been acknowledged. So that is the motivation when we're promoting the nomination period. People will be recognized for their efforts to help make our city barrier-free. Along with the recognition at council, those who receive the award also get a cling sticker that they can put in the window of their organization to say that they have been officially acknowledged as an accessibility award winner by the city of Brantford. And we do press releases, and we profile each of the organizations on our website. So today we're seeking the committee's endorsement to run the program again in 2024. We have in the past also talked about doing other events during National Accessibility Awareness Week. Today we're focusing specifically on the awards so that we can get approval to move forward and begin that process again. We may come back to you with other ideas around National Accessibility Awareness Week. I did mention in the report that our inclusion working group, we have a diversity and inclusion working group here at the city, and they are looking at doing an event around NAW this year. And so that may be something that we could integrate with. So that's the summary. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about the program or how it's facilitated.
Hey, first, we're going to have to get a mover and a seconder to get this on the floor. But I don't believe everybody might have a copy of what the resolution motion is. And so I thought I just might read it, and then I get a mover and a seconder. So the what it is A, that report number 2023-567 regarding the relaunch of the City of Brantford Accessibility Awards program be received, and B, that the 2024 relaunch of the accessibility, that the 2024 relaunch of the Accessibility Awards program to basically bring it back to life. So, mover and a seconder, please. Looking for a mover. Thank you, Sarah Connell. Oh, I can't.
Consoli.
Consoli, my apologies. And Madison as the seconder. Any questions? Councillor Hunt.
Yeah, so when this was put on pause, which was because of COVID in 2020, the actual nominations had gone out. So we did have nominations that were then paused. So would it be, and this is maybe a question for Jenny, for us to reach back out to any of those nominees, just to basically see if they want to resubmit their nomination, because 2024 program could very well be looking at a couple of years worth of accomplishments versus just 1 year.
I can certainly reach out to the nominations that we've received. At the time that we did put them on hold, we were I apologize. We advised them that we would carry over, but you are correct, Councillor Hunt. There might be more initiatives that have taken place in the meantime, and those certainly should be included in nominations. So I will reach out for updates.
yeah, I imagine we would have a significant number of applications this time around, given the fact that it's going to be 3 years for applications that could be.
Any further questions? Seeing no, okay. Seeing no, almost happy with Mark. Roll. All right. Along with the awards, are we still gonna do the sensory different disabilities for the counselors and the I think that would be really cool to bring that back. For the mayor to be in a wheelchair for the day and someone else be given the earmuffs. They were deaf for the day. They had to communicate to help them out. And, some of them were blind for the day and they got nauseated because they couldn't get around. I just think that was really, really cool. No other city has ever done something like this. That sets Brantford apart from the map. That's awesome. That's excellent. Does any staff want to comment on that aspect?
Yeah, I could comment on that. Yes, I do remember, Mark, that we started those discussions before COVID shut us down. We were talking about doing some type of an event of that nature to demonstrate what folks that have challenges go through on a regular basis. And we had approached the mayor and some members of council to participate. We did get some feedback just in some of the sort of research that Jenny and I had started to do before we kind of got too far down the path of planning the event, that there are some in the world of people who advocate for those with disabilities that don't like that kind of an event because they think it's like a little bit of a stunt and not really respectful. So I think that we would have to do it in a way that is very sensitive and respectful and doesn't offend anybody. So I think that would take a little bit more research on our end to see how that could be executed. And I think that we would need to consult with perhaps members of the committee and other organizations who advocate on behalf of those with disabilities, because we wouldn't want to do anything that was perceived as not respectful or not advancing the cause of this committee.
Yeah. Thank you, Maria.
But if you wanted to do, if the committee wanted to do some kind of a directive to us to go do some research and come back with a recommendation, there is certainly time to do that between now and next year's Access Awareness Week.
It could be done in the form of like a sign up and as opposed to wording it as such being given a disability, it would be perhaps worded in such a way as due to sensitivity training to allow the city to be at the forefront of accessibility and inclusivity. We are offering this week where we can give you one disability. If some of the counselors will volunteer and sign up for it, make it optional in such a way so that it's not doesn't show that we're making it in such a way that we're mimicking or making fun of or whatever. Sensitivity training is what it is. Councillor Hunt, do you have a?
I can just comment. So the last time this was done in the city of Brantford was in 2012, and I was actually co-chair of the event. It was called Welcome to My World, and it's actually the term is experiential disability learning. It does require a significant group people to put it together. First of all, the experiential activities, but also coordinating, whether it be at the time I was the co-chair, because I was the chair of Operation Lift, so we require, kind of bringing all of those agencies on board as well. But as long as it's done in the spirit of experiential disability learning, gives, as Mark said, it gives a level of understanding to decision makers that they don't have without it. I took their keys out of my wheelchair van. Took them to, I think we went to the mall and just to try to do some general things. So there is certainly a learning component to it. So.
All right. So my take on this, that it's not directly involved to the award, is that we wish to have a discussion on this. We have time to bring in those motions. I don't know, can that be done today or does that come to the next meeting? And the notes would just state now that investigating talk about it. That how that would function, how would happen?
That is one process that is one way we can do it. We can also give informal direction to staff to look into it. The notice of motion process has changed a little bit, and so we would have to deem it urgent.
So when you say because of the context of this this agenda item,
you can move an amendment.
But I just want to know if it's fitting to the resolution to tie this into it, or if it can just be done as the way that you mentioned earlier, for staff to investigate based on the conversation here and come back.
So Maria, are you comfortable investigating it without formal a notice of motion, or are you yes?
Yes, I am. Yes, we've had discussions about this before, and I think I understand what the committee is looking for. So unless Jenny has any questions, I think we can proceed and provide some information at the next meeting.
I can certainly reach out to ONAP, Maria. That would give us a good head start. I can do that this afternoon. And I think that we can get some good information.
Great. Thank you, Jenny.
And Maria, we'll talk offline with you and me and Jenny. There's some other examples from where I come from, the Niagara region. They've done just like experiential learning when it comes to this, or the Alzheimer's Society does a lot of work in this, and so do our long-term care homes. So it's very similar to what Councillor Hunt is speaking about.
To answer your question through the chair, right now they're just doing some information background. If we're going to proceed with it before we direct staff to do anything, we'll get a formal motion or resolution on the floor to direct staff.
Perfect. Any further questions on this agenda item? Let's go to the vote. All those in favor, raise their hands. Anyone opposed? I don't see anyone. I think that's unanimous as well. Okay, we're moving on to consent items, and that is the accessibility minutes. I need a mover and a seconder to approve the minutes of our last meeting. So, Mayor Davis is the mover, the seconder. Councillor Hunt. Let's go. And any discussions on the minutes from our last meeting? Seeing none, all those in favor of passing the minutes, raise your hands. Those opposed? No, do we have opposition, or are those just late hands? Late Zoom? I don't think those were opposed. I think those were pro. Okay, the minutes are passed. There are no resolutions. There are no resolutions or notice of motion. It's been great meeting you all today. Our meeting is adjourned.
Can I ask the question? How would anybody go